Welcome to the channel. Today I am going to be talking about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart because this aspect of my health has impacted my life probably more than any other area of my health, and that is hormones. So I'm going to be talking about a way that I have over the last several months implemented to balance my own hormones. And I've noticed a significant improvement to the point that when I stopped using this method, I got back on it because I found so much relief and help with my own PMS symptoms. So I'm excited to share this with you all today. The primary thing you're going to learn is that one thing that has helped reduce my PMS symptoms more than anything else. So I'm excited to share this with you. Quick disclaimer, you can pause the recording if you want to read this in full, but essentially I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and I'm not licensed or certified by any state. The content is strictly meant for entertainment purposes only, and none of the content is meant to be medical advice. Who am I? I am a nutritional therapy practitioner, or NTP is the acronym for that. I am a practicing health coach, and I've seen hundreds of clients under a well-known doctor. So I'm in active clinical practice right now, and many of the clients that I have had and that I currently have, the majority of those are females, and I have yet to have a client that has said my hormones are exactly where I want them to be and I do not struggle with my hormones, no matter the age. So I'm looking forward to really diving in because I feel like no matter where you're at on the spectrum of life, whether you are an actively menstruating female, whether you're pre-menopausal, perimenopausal, postmenopausal, this can be extremely helpful no matter where you're at with that. Okay. So why this matters, I realized that contrary to what I thought and the way that I grew up, PMS and the symptoms associated with that is actually not normal. So I would say that's the case for almost every female that I know. When we really grow up and we're taught to dread our period, dread our menstrual cycle and all that comes with it, bloating, fatigue, irritability. Society really kind of makes light of it and jokes about it a lot. And there's that saying of happy wife, happy life. And really what I like to say is healthy wife, happy life, because we're able to show up for ourselves and others to the degree that we take care of ourselves and to the degree that we feel well. And because this has made such an impact on how I have felt, drastically reducing my symptoms to the point that if I didn't track my own menstrual cycle, there have been many months where I wouldn't even notice that I'm about to start my period. And so I grew up with a lot of irregularity. Even our cycle flow and the color can tell us a lot about our cycle. And so I can remember growing up not even knowing that was the case, but just having a lot of issues and challenges with not feeling well. But again, you just are taught to suffer through it. And so that's what I did. It on into my 20s, late 20s, and even early 30s, it continued just to get worse, where I would have extreme nausea, fatigue on day one of my cycle. I would get fever, chills, diarrhea. I would have to be in bed all day. It was debilitating. And I had a lot of anxiety around starting my period every month. So once I would get through like the first couple days, I would start to feel better. But then the anxiety would set in of, okay, in another 25 days or so, I've got to endure and go through this again. And it was just awful. And so it was really at that time that I really started to seek out other answers. My mom, God love her, didn't know any better, right? Just instilled into me in my teens when I started my period that this is just life. This is how it is. Take some Motrin, take Pamperin, take Tylenol, whatever you got to do to just get through it. Not really realizing that a lot of those over-the-counter meds were exacerbating the issues later on, and they're so taxing on the liver that it just kind of perpetuated the cycle, no pun intended, with the years to come. A properly functioning hormone cycle is absolutely critical to a woman's overall health. The hormones involved in all females play many crucial roles of our other body systems. And so this includes muscle growth, our immune system regulation, energy and stamina, and even bone density. And I know that as we age, bone density starts to really become important and a focal point for many aging women, as does muscle growth. And women in their mid-30s and beyond actually start to have a decline in muscle growth. So it's really important to foster maintaining muscle mass. And then, of course, immune system regulation. Like, who doesn't want a healthy, optimum immune system to help keep us from getting sick? So I mentioned earlier that this is great for pre and postmenopausal women. And definitely, like, this strategy does not leave you out from that at all. It helps support your nervous system, your hormones as well. Although women in this category, their hormones are not fluctuating as much as like a regular menstruating female, this strategy is still important for skin health, brain health, and other tissues due to the high essential fatty acid content. So think along the lines of brain health really being connected with cognitive decline and the symptoms or the challenges that come with that as we age. So why is this a problem? This is kind of a good synopsis of a lot of the challenges and that we as women commonly face, not even knowing that there's actually support out there for us. So energy is a big one. Again, I can remember growing up and my mom never really feeling well enough to play with me or to keep up with me. I can remember she had headaches a lot, which has also been one of the challenges that I've had. Certain days around my cycle, I'll get these debilitating headaches. And at the time when you're young, I didn't understand why my mom doesn't want to play with me. But now that I'm older, I totally resonate with what she went through. And that's why I'm excited to kind of break that cycle and share such a really great strategy with you all. So again, we've touched on bone density and the immune system. I've talked about muscle growth and retention, PMS symptoms, and all that comes with that. And so if you've ever been a menstruating woman before, you know that the common ones really are. I mean, they can range from bloating and gas to migraines to diarrhea, severe cramps, moderate cramps, back pain, fluid retention, decreased in energy. I mean, the list goes on and on for PMS symptoms. And then a really big one that I've not yet mentioned that affects and has affected so many women is infertility. And again, this is obviously a sensitive topic that many women struggle to get pregnant. And again, this can be a really great strategy to support your hormones to be able to conceive. So the strategy that I have been talking about for the last few minutes is called seed cycling. And what it is a natural approach to support hormone balance in the body. It involves consuming specific seeds at certain times of the menstrual cycle to support hormone health. So the first 14 days of a menstrual cycle, you really want to focus on supporting estrogen production. And estrogen, as you see here in this first bullet point, is the hormone in charge of the first half of the menstrual cycle. It assists in the formation of a healthy uterine lining in preparation for pregnancy. So the two seeds that are helpful to use during this first half of a menstrual cycle are flax and pumpkin seeds. They contain molecules called lignans that appear to have actions on the body similar to those of estrogen, and they have therefore been labeled phytoestrogens or plant-based estrogens. And by taking these during the first half of a menstrual cycle, it can greatly encourage the body to increase its own natural estrogen production without supplementing with synthetic hormones. And I just feel like this is really important because at one point in time, I was misdiagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, because doctors didn't know what other label to give me as a result of my hormone imbalance. And one of the things that they gave me was a synthetic hormone cream that I used. And it did help me feel better. But again, because it was synthetic, I personally have been on a quest of finding more of a natural alternative. And so this is one reason that I love the concept of using nature and these seeds to really help support the body. The second half of a cycle, so approximately days 15 through 28, progesterone is the hormone in charge here, and its production increases after ovulation, which usually happens around day 14. And this helps to maintain a pregnancy once conception has occurred at that ovulation window. The two seeds that are used here are sunflower and sesame, and they contain a variety of lignans thought to mimic the actions of progesterone. Studies show that these lignans may reduce the symptoms of PMS as well as menopause. And boosting progesterone is also why it's important to feast. And if you are a female who practices keto and getting the body into the metabolic state of ketosis, or if you're a female who fasts or intermittent fasts, it's really important not to have that practice in place from around day 20 or 21 all the way up until the time that a menstrual cycle starts. So you really want to go into more of a feast mode where you have lots of healthy carbs. Higher carb veggies like beets, even legumes like beans can be helpful during this feasting period. And so, because I like to just point that out, because intermittent fasting and fasting can be really helpful, and even intermittent fasting is such a trendy thing right now. But it's just important to know that it does have its place, and this is a good time to not do a lot of intermittent fasting. So what you'll do, or what the protocol is days 1 through 14 of a cycle. So day 1 is the day that a menstrual cycle begins, and then up until day 14, 1 tablespoon of organic raw ground flax and pumpkin seeds is taken daily. And great ways to incorporate this include smoothies, salads. You can make chia pudding, sprinkle it on cooked veggies. So those are just some really great ways to implement the flax and the pumpkin seeds. A client of mine loves to make seed crackers, and so that's what she does. Also, taking an omega-369 supplement around the same time can make the seeds more bioavailable as well. Now, if a menstrual cycle is longer or shorter than 28 days, or if there's irregularity, begin taking flax and pumpkin seeds at the new moon. So actually the phases of the moon can be used as a guide, again, if there's irregularity. And so the new moon is a great time to begin these two types of seeds if someone is not sure where they're at in their cycle. The last half of a menstrual cycle, so around days 15 all the way until the end, until menstruation hits, there are 2 different seeds used. And so that at that time, then the protocol becomes 1 tablespoon of raw organic ground sesame and sunflower seeds. So 1 tablespoon of each. Again, you can incorporate these in a very similar fashion as the other 2 seeds, the first part of a menstrual cycle. So smoothies are great, salads, chia puddings, yogurt bowls, cooked veggies, all of those can be great ways to use those seeds. And again, taking a balanced omega-369 at the same time that these 2 seeds are used, again, can just really help make those more bioavailable. Again, if there is an irregular menstrual cycle and someone isn't sure, then you can use the full moon to gauge when to add in sesame and sunflower seeds. I put together a visual here just because I'm a visual person, and so it helps me to be able to just kind of track and summarize everything into one visual here. So I've just got the first half of a cycle flax and pumpkin, 1 tablespoon of each, and then the last half of the cycle sesame and sunflower, 1 tablespoon each. So it really helps simplify. And again, I just put this together for any of my visual learners out there like myself. And so if you're wondering where to purchase the seeds, again, you can purchase the seeds online from a reputable source. Just be sure that they're raw and organic, and then you would want to grind them at home in an ideal scenario. If you want to buy something already pre-ground, a company that I recommend is called Bia Wellness, and they already have the seeds ground, and they've got like a subscription set up where you can get in phase 1 the 2 seeds that you need, and then phase 2 they ship you the other 2 seeds that you need. So it's kind of set up on a subscription based service. They're organic and are really great quality. And so if you're someone who kind of just likes the set it and forget it mentality, and you don't want to have to worry about grinding seeds at home, you don't want to have to worry about quality, you kind of like that auto shipment method, Bia Wellness could be a great option for you to explore. And if you don't want to use the seeds, if that's not your jam, and you would rather take the oils from the seeds and just throw that in a tablespoon and take it back like a liquid dose, then you can absolutely do that as well. That's the approach that I take, because I would rather just consume the liquid and move on about my day than having to worry about incorporating the ground seeds into my daily diet. So I personally use Andrea's seed oils, and seed oils have gotten a bad rap, and rightfully so. If they're not properly extracted, the oils actually go rancid, and that's when they become highly inflammatory in the body. So unless there's a provider that has a process that can absolutely vouch for the quality and integrity of the seed processing, from kind of seed to extraction to processing to the end result of oil, I would steer clear of really pretty much every company out there that claims to have a healthy seed oil. The only 2 that I know of to date, as of this recording, is Andrea's Seed Oils is the first one. Activation Products is a really great company as well. They don't have all 4 of the oils on their website that's needed for seed cycling. So I personally have just used Andrea's oils the whole time I've been seed cycling. They have everything on there. They ship in dark glass bottles to preserve the integrity of the oil. Once it arrives to your home, I keep and store my oils in those. And they've got a patented process that preserves the integrity of their processing. You can read all about it on their website. Really great and reputable company. And so, again, I hope this was helpful. This is something, again, that I've been using for many, many months that has drastically improved the balance of my hormones, and therefore has allowed me to just feel and operate through life so much better. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, get all the notifications, all the good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.